Hi again. It's your friend Joe bringing you some more important life information. Some about my past travels. See, I worked in scientific laboratories. I traveled across the United States, Canada, and some in Europe. I went to the former East Germany and Switzerland and get good retirement because of that, but that's beside the point. I went to the former East Germany, and there was a customer there, scientist in the laboratory. And the scientist in the laboratory actually, I took him to a restaurant, and it was November 9th, 1990. It was just 1 year before that, November 9th, 1989, that the Berlin Wall came down. And he described to me his day, November 9th, 1989, exactly 1 year to the day from when I was in that restaurant with him. And he described how he saw across the street people protesting the government. They had signs protesting the government. And that he had never seen in East Germany. East Germany shot people dead for trying to cross the border. If anybody was protesting the government, they'd surely be picked up, taken away, and never seen again. And he was just shaking. He was so scared that something was going to happen to these people. And he watched and waited, and he was there for a couple hours in the restaurant, and he saw, before long, there were hundreds of people. And then there were thousands of people protesting. And he joined them. And as they walked through the streets of Dresden in East Germany, they actually, every building they went by, every person who worked there in office buildings and factories, they all went out of their building down to the street to join in the protest. So when they got to the end of the long avenue, they had well over 50,000 people. The police left their little police department there. They ran for their lives. And he went inside the police department. He was one of the 10% of people who had telephones in East Germany. And he always heard clicking on the line, and he couldn't prove it, but he thought that was the government spying on his phone calls. And so he went in there, and on these big giant walls inside the police department, he saw hundreds of telephones on the wall with tape recorders next to the telephone. And that was his answer, exactly what he saw there. So I want to mention something that has to do with healthy lifestyle, healthy credit lifestyle, all of it. Okay, so when you have a schedule, say an exercise schedule, you're more likely to stick to the schedule as long as you have some kind of a record of your days that you did the schedule. Now, I have the record because it's automatic, because I have a Garmin watch, and I have Garmin app on my phone, and Garmin Connect on my computer. And so I can see day by day, week by week, and year by year how many miles I've run, everything I did, bike rides, running, all of it. And so the other ways that I measure what matters when it comes to health, I actually at home have a Renpho scale, RENPHO. The Renpho scale is very inexpensive to buy on Amazon, and the Renpho scale has It works through Bluetooth, and it tells not just your weight, it tells your body fat percentage. So here I am, 70 years old, and my body fat percentage is 13%. It ranges from about 12.9 to about 13.5% for years now. Pretty incredible. Okay, so I will mention this too. I have excellent credit, and it didn't come to me just overnight. It's something that took a few years to build up. About 7 years ago, I had come back from living overseas, and I had bad credit, 500 something, and a friend loaned me a couple $1,000, and I used that money to go into the credit union, open up an account, and put it up as collateral and get a credit building loan. Now, just for your information, this is usually a better deal at credit unions than it is at banks. And I went to my banker at the time at a bank, and she said, yeah, we have credit building loans also. And the way it works is it's 18% interest. Huh? and it's the collateral account is locked until the whole loan is paid off. And there's something like a $75 charge to open up that account. And so I'm happy with life. I want to mention this too. Being healthy is largely a part of how you sleep. And I sleep a pretty regular schedule. I sleep every night. I go to sleep somewhere between 9:30 to 10 o'clock at the latest. And I go lay my head down and go right to sleep. I usually wake up after about 5 to 6 hours, take a pee real quick, and then I go back to bed. And it's this older age that going back to bed, I don't always get exactly as much sleep as I need, but pretty close to it anyway. If you lay there and your body doesn't feel like sleeping, you can practice breathing technique, just deep inhalations, and close your eyes, wiggle your toes, and eventually you just fall right back to sleep. I will mention this. There's a sleep researcher who's a PhD scientist who spent decades studying sleep habits of people. And what he said is that he said he knows of enough people to fill one hand of fingers that can actually get by on only around 5 hours of sleep per night, 5 or 6 hours per night. And he said there's almost no people worldwide, over 99.9% of all people have to have at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. And those people who claim, I get by on 5 hours of sleep every night, well, they're either have bad effect on their health or their performance, or they're just not telling the truth. They get big naps during the day. Anyway, I will put this one up. I'll put one up each day, and take care. Have a wonderful day for now. Goodbye.